Moses is now 120 years old. He has led Israel for decades, but he knows he won't enter the promised land. So he gathers the people and tells them, 1. God will go before them and fight for them. 2. Joshua is their new leader. 3. They must stay faithful to God's commands. Then Moses gives one of the most powerful encouragements in Scripture. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, for the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Deuteronomy 31-6. Even though Moses is leaving, God is not. Moses writes down the entire law and gives it to the priests. He commands them to read it publicly every 7 years so that future generations will never forget. Why? Because Moses knows how easy it is to drift from God. He warns Israel, if they turn away, they will face trouble. But if they stay faithful, they will experience God's blessings. Before stepping down, Moses teaches Israel a song. Not just any song, but a prophetic one. It reminds Israel, God is their rock, faithful and perfect in all he does. They have a history of turning away from him. God is just, and sin has consequences. But God is also merciful. He will never abandon them completely. This song is both a warning and a promise. It's meant to be remembered for generations. Before saying goodbye, Moses blesses each of Israel's 12 tribes, just like Jacob did before he died, Genesis 49. Some tribes are blessed with strength and victory, Judah, Gad. Others are blessed with prosperity, Asher, Zebulun. Levi is given a special role as priests who teach God's law. Moses ends by reminding them, the eternal God is your refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms. Deuteronomy 33:27. Even though Moses is leaving, God's presence will never leave them. And now we come to one of the most emotional moments in the Bible, the death of Moses. God tells Moses to climb Mount Nebo. From there, he sees the entire promised land, the land he led Israel toward for 40 years. Then, at 120 years old, with his strength still intact, Moses dies. But here's what's amazing. God himself buries Moses. Even though Moses didn't enter the promised land, he later appears with Jesus on the Mount of Transfiguration, Matthew 17, showing that God's promises go beyond this life. Deuteronomy ends with this powerful statement. Since then, no prophet has risen in Israel like Moses, whom the Lord knew face to face. Good. 34 minutes, 10 seconds. Moses wasn't perfect. He made mistakes, but he was faithful. He talked with God face to face, led with courage, and finished his race well. And though Moses died, God's plan continued. Joshua would lead Israel into the promised land, and generations later, Jesus, the ultimate deliverer, would come to bring salvation to the world.